Extra, extra. Weird news.
Weird all about it.
Welcome to Extra Weird News. My name's Andy.
Did you say Wextra?
Wextra. Oh my God. Welcome to Extra. Welcome to. Where? Fucking hell. Welcome to Extra Weird News. I'm Andy.
I'm Craig.
And I've got some weird news.
All that's going in, by the way. I'm not cutting.
That's fine. That's fine. And I've got some weird news for you.
Well, yeah, we should probably quickly explain, as this will be the first one we do, is just that we're going to cover some weird news stories, which we normally do, but particularly me struggles to find just one story because there's so much weird news out there. So we thought we'd just record some extra stuff where we go through all the other stuff that didn't make the main episodes.
The world is a weird place. And this one...
What you got?
I'm telling you this one now because I don't want it to be the last one I record before bed because it's horrifying. Celebrity psychic Deborah Davies buys creepy doll from Edinburgh charity shop.
How famous do you have to be a celebrity? Because I've never heard of her.
I don't know, more famous than us at the moment. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe a celebrity amongst the psychic world. I'm guessing she's been on TV as a... I don't know. To be honest, if you said celebrity psychics, I couldn't name more really than like Derek Acora, who's now dead, or John Edwards. He's a medium.
Oh yeah, but wasn't he debunked quite badly?
I mean, yeah, yeah, he was. He's still famous though.
Ah, no. What's the other guy? There was a British guy. I met him once. If only I was psychic, I'd remember. Fuck knows.
I'll let you...
No. Oh, I can picture him as well. No, it's gone. Anyway, it's irrelevant.
Protection.
Back to your weird news.
A picture of Annabelle went viral online after Ashton Drake Gallery's doll was displayed in the Morningside store window with a note saying, "I am not creepy." Yeah, I can't screen share at the moment, so you might have to look up this doll for me.
That's pretty funny, though. What is that? They've deliberately got, we can't sell this doll, it's too creepy, so let's put a sign on it that says, "I am not creepy."
But
what was the name of the doll?
It's called Annabelle, but that is also a film.
It is. That's not going to come up if I search for that, is it?
Just to put celebrity psychic doll, I'm sure it will come up. While you're doing that, a creepy doll that spooked shoppers after it went on display in the Edinburgh charity shop has been snapped up by a celebrity psychic. Oh, there you go. Deborah Davies, star of Unexplained, caught on camera, has added Annabelle to her collection of around 60 haunted dolls.
What was the show, sorry?
Unexplained, caught on camera.
Unexplained? I've never heard of it. Sorry,
Me neither.
I got a date. Oh, that's pretty creepy. But then dolls are.
But that's an extra creepy one. Can you whack it on screen?
Here we go. There's a picture of Deborah with the doll on what I'm going to assume is this morning. I don't know. But...
It's like... It's kind of got that uncanny valley thing. I've got going now. It looks... Oh my God, look at his legs. It's like a little haunted polio victim.
Oh wow!
There's
a video. There's a video here.
Haunting.
Is that playing for you, or is that?
Yeah, I can see it.
There's no sound, but
no,
yeah.
I don't want it. It'll bore into my dreams.
I'm sorry, but she looks way too happy about having that doll. This is bullshit.
It's taken charge of her. That's what it is. It's taken possession of her. I can lip read, you see, and what she's actually saying is, yeah, and this doll of mine, it's just wonderful, and I will do everything to protect it. And here, hold the doll, hold the doll, hold the doll. It's
the doll.
Oh.
Can you hear that?
No.
Ew.
Oh, I don't like how they're zooming in on its face the whole time. Stop it. I mentioned on the podcast before, like, there is just something creepy about dolls. I mean, we all know.
Uh, what? But no, so you can't hear this.
No.
All right, it's finished. That was creepy because it's in my headphones.
Yeah.
And they added some sound effects of like, I don't know, a child singing or something in the background. So suddenly there's like a voice behind me and like, ah!
No, there wasn't. There was no sound. That was all actually in your head. It was projected there by the doll. Apparently, she paid £220 in total for the toy, which has been sent from St Columbia's Hospice charity shop in Morningside to her home in Cheshire, hopefully in a lead-lined, warded and hermetically sealed box. The former Real Housewives of Cheshire star, oh, that's where she's actually from then. I'll have CCTV, she says, I'll have CCTV cameras on it 24/7, and for now I'll keep it at my home, which is breaking my own rules. I keep the rest of my collection a few miles away, as many of them were sent to me by followers following serious poltergeist activity.
Yeah.
We need to get on the podcast.
Shouldn't be that hard. What was she on there this morning?
A picture of Annabelle went viral online after Ashton Drake Gallery's doll was displayed in the store window with a note saying, I am not creepy, as I mentioned.
I would immediately buy that.
Somebody said that, yeah, you bought that mascot behind you. It was a little bit cheaper than 220, though.
It didn't have a sign on it, though. That's why.
Somebody said they felt the doll's eyes were following them. Just the eyes rolling down the hill after them.
But dolls and stuff, they do that, right? I mean, this thing is watching me.
I still put cameras in it when you bought it.
Creepy.
Yeah,
I thought I brought Mary Shelley home with it.
maybe. Just tucked.
You can literally see Mary Shelley's grave from the shop. I mean,
you can, yeah, that's it. It must have got imbued with some of it, or maybe
if you did like this, anyway.
Yeah. The charity shop manager where it comes from said that she opened the box and she was taken aback by how lifelike the doll looked. When I took it out and saw the legs and all that, I was like, these do look like human legs to me. It had little shoes on, which was quite creepy, and the white bits on the nails and the feel of it. It's a plastic, but a funny kind of plastic, a rubbery plastic. It's human skin.
I once bought a chest from a charity shop. It was out the front of the shop.
Yeah.
I've still got it. It was like just this big wooden chest. It's made of camphor wood. It's got like a carving in the top of like a, I don't want to be specific. Let's just say an oriental design, right?
Yeah.
Non-specific. I don't know what it is. But there's this kind of, there's an Eastern design carved into the top of it. It's a nice chest. Genuinely, when we first bought it, the sky is just open, like a thunderstorm.
Did it open inside, bound in leather, in human leather?
It's literally like, I think we've made a mistake.
Remember, if the faces on it start screaming at you, it's Klaatu to Wyrdo Niktu. Yeah, my parents actually won. I remember waking up and like one day going downstairs and there was this fucking statue, this Japanese statue, like just on the windowsill. I'm like, where's that come from? And my mum was like, someone left it on the doorstep. And I'm like, Mum, that is blatantly cursed. Why would you bring it in?
Has she still got it?
I was like, yeah. I'll get some. I'll take a picture next time I'm over.
Bring it on as a guest.
Yeah, that's it. I was like, you do realise you have to gift that to someone else, an innocent, within like 2 weeks. Otherwise, it's going to kill us all. It didn't know, so maybe it's playing the long game. So that's. I found that one pretty weird and unsettling because dolls are. I'm going to Hertford in a few weeks, and there are some dolls in the Hertford Museum which are terrifying. I'll send you some pictures.
All right. So
feature on that.
I've actually found a story. I was looking for weird news and I found one that we missed back in January. I'm going to own up. So this is an old story.
Okay.
That we missed. I don't know how, but we did. Yes. It's a pretty short article, but it made me laugh. So, you ready?
Go.
Woman accidentally puts Nan in washing machine.
I shouldn't laugh. That sounds incredibly dangerous, but what the fuck?
This is only a paragraph. It's a very short story. A woman said she was horrified after accidentally, and in quotations, washing her Nan in the washing machine, reported Lad Bible. No comment. While unloading her freshly laundered clothes, Briley Coates, 30, spotted a small black bag at the bottom of the machine.
Wait. What was that name again?
Briley Coates.
I thought you said Dryly Coates, and I'm like, that's got
Briley.
a mistake.
Briley. I've never heard
Dryly Coates and the washing machine. Sorry, go on.
While unloading her freshly laundered clothes, Briley Coates, 30, spotted a small black bag at the bottom of the machine. Here's the bombshell. She then realised it was a bag that contained her late grandmother's ashes.
Should have seen that one coming.
She said she was massively confused as to how she got in there. She was meant to be in the drawer upstairs. I find that funny too. Why the fuck are you keeping your Nan in the drawer? Come on, have some respect. She blames her cat.
And that's it?
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, she's quoted as saying he's really a menace, right? If you want that extra.
Apparently, or demonic. So do you think the ashes got out? Do you think they're like mixed in with the suds and now she's going to be wearing her grandmother?
Depends how well she tried. There's too many questions, right? Out of respect for the grandmother, and this is being respectful, why the fuck is she in a bag?
Right.
Why the fuck is she in your bedroom drawer?
You know,
when I die, if you put me in a black bag in your drawer, I'm going to be pissed.
That's exactly what I'm going to do.
It's not me.
No, I'm going to. I mean, to be honest, though, like, you know what I reckon it is? No, I got it. You know what I reckon it is? You know how, like, you know, in films where, like, you know, people have got, like, pictures of their parents or something, or then they have someone over, a guest, a visitor, and they go to bed with them, they sleep with them, and they, like, put the picture down like that so the picture isn't looking at them. Do you reckon they, like, put their Nan in a bag in the drawer? So, like...
Again, why is she in a bag? Come on, have some respect.
Maybe the urn was being cleaned? I don't know. That's... It just reminded me. I was at a house party when I was like, 17.
Did you smoke someone's Nan?
No. What I did.
Didn't they do that with Tupac?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, someone.
That was a thing with Tupac, that they had to smoke his ashes. Yeah.
So my mate was coming over to my girlfriend, so there was a jar on the there was just a random jar with a lid on the mantelpiece, and I was like, do you want to see something really funny? I may or may not have smoked something that wasn't Tupac but wasn't cigarettes as well. I got some ash from the ashtray, put it in there, waited for my mate to come over, and like I was like, oh, here, can you hold this for a second? I just need to find something behind here. Handed it to him and spilled it over him. And I'd mentioned earlier, I said, oh, that's Jay's Nan's ashes. And then I handed it to Chris and purposely spilt it over him. And he's just like, he just goes white because like he's just got this fucking emptying of ash all over him. And he genuinely just believes that I've emptied Jay's Nan all over his face.
I mean, this story sounds like you're backtracking from accidentally spilling someone's Nan on someone.
I was so pleased with myself. But yeah.
As that was a short story, I've just come across on the same page another one that's just as short. So I might just quickly...
Go on then.
Ancient pollen shows climate change killed King Kong.
I see.
Because we all know King Kong's real, right?
Not anymore, apparently. Climate change killed him.
The real King Kong species was killed off by climate change, according to evidence from Chinese caves. The fictional creature may be able to fight off Godzilla, climb the Empire State Building, and swat helicopters out of the sky, said the Telegraph. But ancient pollen shows his real-life counterpart was wiped out because the climate was altered and the seasons were becoming more extreme and varied.
So how big was this ape?
It doesn't specify. It just says they disappeared 215,000 years ago.
Gigantopithecus blacki, about 7 foot tall, maybe 7.5 foot tall.
It's Diddy Kong.
Yeah, pretty damn big, but I wouldn't say King Kong big. Okay, so they're all high. Rats eat marijuana from police evidence room. Rat droppings have been found at an officer's desks in the New Orleans police headquarters, which have been taken over by mold and cockroaches, according to the department. Rats that managed to get into an evidence room at a decaying police headquarters building have been eating confiscated marijuana, the New Orleans police chief has said. The aging officers of the police department, apologies to New Orleans Police Department.
Who are clearly listening into this bonus episode.
Obviously, you never know. We got listeners in New Zealand. Are so dilapidated and vermin infested that animals managed to get into the evidence lockup room. The rats are eating our marijuana. They're all high, she told the city council members on Wednesday. The uncleanliness is off the charts. Rat droppings have been found on officers' desks, Ms. Kirkpatrick said, adding that the building, where the department has been based since 1968, has been taken over by mold and cockroaches. Ron Harrison, a global technical director for Orkin Pest Control, said he hasn't heard of rats eating marijuana before. It was the officers, wasn't it? Just like, oh yeah, man, it was the rats.
The rats, yeah.
Definitely the rats.
It was the rats. Yeah.
It says that they may experience the same effects as humans, depending on what form it's in, and then it goes on to describe what getting high is like.
I need to know that. I've never done it.
This is fair. It's bad. Do not inject one single marijuana.
Or venom.
or snake bite venom.
Which is weird because this will probably come out before that episode. So this isn't going to make any sense to you.
Watch this space.
There's a teaser there.
So yeah, possibly rats will eat anything. You know, we had a rat infestation at work, and I had a box, and inside it was another box, and inside that was a sealed packet of
weed.
A big fat sack of weed. No, the fuel. The protein sort of powder stuff.
Yeah.
And it literally just cleared the whole thing out overnight. I'm just imagining
beefcake rat walking around,
jacked up rat, like packed full of every nutrient it needs. You know, just dominant, swole. They will eat anything, but I can see him eating marijuana. Okay, give us some weird news.
Okay, so with this one, this came about because I listened to another podcast. Sorry, Andy.
Has to be done now. Where else are we going to get all of our ideas from?
I have to reference this other podcast because they were directly involved with this story.
It's not Will I Vike It, is it?
If only. Imagine some weird news that crossed over. No. The Loch Ness Monster has been spotted emerging from the depths of the water in unseen footage.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is it completely unseen? Has nobody seen this footage?
Yeah, no one's seen it until this week. It was released this week. I could summarize or I can read it. It's up to you. Basically, there's a lady called Chi Kelly who a few years back took some pictures of some shadow moving across the loch. And the Cryptid Factor podcast, they have a guy who does the editing called Buttons, and Buttons has edited the footage so he's taken all the stills of the photos and edited it into like a coherent video. I should probably share the screen and show you the video would be the best option, wouldn't it? Do you think?
I think I'd like that.
So you've got this dark mass on the right-hand side here.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is they've got the timestamp of all the pictures up the side here. I'm planning a trip to Loch Ness in the summer.
Yeah, you mentioned.
So
I've been ages.
I've never been.
Give Nessie a pat for me.
There you go. So then it emerges out the water there, you see, from the whatever it is. And there are theories about it being, I think, seals and stuff.
Yeah, it'd be weird because, I mean, it's fresh water. You don't really get seals in fresh water.
Yeah, but also looks too big. I mean, look at the buoy. The scale.
It could also be a group of fish.
Yeah, like a shoal. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a weird one. So, I mean, you don't get them there, but I don't think anyway. But the sturgeon you get in the Great Lakes in America, they're fucking massive.
There's a few other things. I think people have suggested if anyone wants to hear a better explanation of this, listen to the Cryptid Factor, because they have Chi on. And she talks about how they were in the area for a couple of hours afterwards, because some people said it might be a diver or something, but they didn't see a diver come back up at any point whilst they were there for a few hours. And I think it was an accidental thing. She's kind of taken a series of pictures. They deleted some, and then they later found out they hadn't deleted them. They had them stored somewhere else. And so that's how they've ended up making this.
It's a weird one, though, isn't it?
Yeah. It's not the first time we've spoken about Nessie on the show.
No, and I'm sure it won't be the last.
We'll come live from there at some point, I guess.
It's going to happen at some point. Road trip.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going up in the summer, so
I'm going to hide in your boot.
Let's just see if the article says anything I've missed there, but that was the basics of it. Rediscovered photos snapped of what was thought to be a mysterious beast has been transformed into a compelling video. And you can watch it right now, what you just did. The video, which you can watch for full on YouTube, was created by the Cryptid Factor podcast using images snapped by photographer Chi Kelly when she visited Loch Ness in 2018. Chi and her husband Scott were strolling along the banks of the loch when they spotted something moving in the water, prompting her to snap around 70 quick-fire photos on her camera. However, many of these ended up getting deleted, and she only decided to go public with the images last year. With the help of Nessie hunter Steve Feltham, and now I know, so Steve lives in a mobile library on the banks of Loch Ness. He has done for years.
Okay.
He's there to find Nessie. He spent 32 years living on the Scottish loch seeking proof of the monster.
That's intense.
Yeah. So it turns out the full set of video photos hadn't been deleted after all. And they realized they could turn the images into a compelling video with a little bit of help. So Steve got in touch with the comedy podcast, The Cryptid Factor. I wonder if they take offense by that, because, I think they take cryptids fairly seriously.
Yeah, but if you're
hosted by Dan Schreiber, he's off of No Such Thing as a Fish as well, who we mentioned on a previous episode, and Rhys Darby, who exclusively obtained the images. Podcast co-host and film industry professional Leon Buttons Kirkbeck got started bringing the 71 images to life using the timestamp metadata from each photo to put the images in their correct place in time and common background objects to place where each image is in the loch. The end result is a video that seems to show a large unidentified creature moving in the loch and at times breaking the surface to reveal part of its body. And that's basically it, isn't it?
Nice.
Yeah. So
we keep going back to Nessie. Do you believe in Nessie?
I'm on the fence.
I do that.
It's difficult, isn't it? I mean, like last year they had that big meetup, didn't they? Where they...
Yeah, like basically through sonar and diving and all sorts of other things, like dredge the loch. And they did say there are big shapes down there, but then that could be boats, that could be rocks, that could be a lot of things, you know?
Yeah, so I'd say I'm not convinced, but I could be.
It was one of the ones, I remember mentioning this in one of the first podcasts we did, that I remember thinking when I was a kid, I hope they never find out either way because I love the mystery. But at the
I was hoping then to break into song, but I can't remember the words of the song from Family Nest.
But yeah, you know, it's one of the ones I'd love to be true. I was saying to someone as well the other day that they asked, you know, talking about the podcast, and they asked me if I was a believer, and I said we both tend to be quite skeptical about a lot of things, but I like to think open-minded. But I don't know about you, but I wouldn't say I've convinced myself of more of it, but I find myself almost a bit more open-minded from a few months ago when we started the podcast.
I think I'm about the same as I always was. I mean, yeah. It's, I mean, Dorian Deathley, who was on the previous episode in York, which again, now that I say that, might not have come out yet if you're watching this.
Depends when we get these up.
Actually, no, because the interview's on our YouTube channel. So there's an interview with Dorian. Yeah, the interview is, but the episode isn't. Yeah. But he kind of said something along the lines of how that adds to anything he experiences, because if you're just like, I believe all the time, then it kind of negates it. Whereas if you're like, no, I don't believe, and then something happens, people go, well, hang on a minute.
I've often thought that, you know, people that are just, I believe in this, this must be this. It must be almost as boring as being an absolute skeptic, you know, because that mystery isn't there, you know, that what if, or could it be, you know, I think is a good place to be. It's like healthy skepticism, but with an open mind. More weird news. Roswell UFO sightings can be explained by classified program, Pentagon reveals in a new report. Ooh. Many sightings of UFOs, even those at Roswell, were likely from people who unknowingly saw testing or the use of classified technology, according to the report on the historical record of US government involvement with unidentified anomalous phenomena. That's a long report name. Government investigations have found no evidence of alien technology, the Pentagon said in a newly released report. That's what they would say.
Yeah.
The Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or AARO, set up in 2022 to investigate and record reports of unknown objects, examined government investigations as far back as 1945, but found there was no evidence of the US having alien bodies or technology. Because there was that whistleblower recently, wasn't there? Gulch or something like that. He was a high up in intelligence and involved in a lot of this stuff, and he was very adamant, and he swore under oath that, you know, there were off-world aircraft being held by the US government with bodies.
That rings a bell. Yeah.
In his report, he said many sightings of UFOs from people who unknowingly saw the testing and use of classified technology. Claims of an alien spacecraft crashing in the New Mexico town of Roswell in 1947, for example, were consistent with Project Mogul, a classified program using microphones flown on high altitude balloons in a bid to detect Soviet nuclear bomb tests. All investigative reports at all levels of classification concluded that most sightings of ordinary objects and phenomena are the result of misidentification. It says most. Most UFO reports remain unsolved, the AARO said, but with more data, most of them could be identified and resolved as ordinary objects or phenomena. It has also revealed plans for portable UFO detection kits to collect more data on sightings. Acting Director Timothy Phillips said that new kits currently being tested in Texas would have an array of sensors that fit inside a protective case. If we have a national security site and there are objects being reported that are within restricted airspace or within a maritime range within proximity of one of our spaceships, we need to understand what that is. And so that's why we're developing sensor capability and can deploy it in reaction to reports. The system is called Gremlin, great name, and could be deployed to a site with many reports of UAP, unidentified. The Pentagon term for UFOs. And that's it. Yeah, I mean, on one hand, it's also what we've said from the start when we've talked about UFOs. A lot of it could be like, as I mentioned before, seeing a stealth bomber for the first time when they were still classified. That thing doesn't look like any other plane at the time.
Mm.
But at the same time, that is exactly what you would say if you were trying to cover that up, you know.
Sound like a skeptic to me.
I mean, to be honest, it is one of those things that it's slightly, even though I'm not convinced that we have been visited by aliens, it's something that I'm more easily convinced of than, say, hauntings.
Interesting, yeah. We always come back to that.
Yeah. Maybe it's just that love of X-Files.
You know what? I started that again.
Yeah? I've been thinking about starting watching it again.
I've already got to season 2.
Oh, I'm going to have to catch up.
Yeah. I've just watched Dwayne Barry.
It's been so long, but yeah.
Dwayne Barry was always a favourite of mine.
What was the one with the gorilla that was invisible?
There was a whole like zoo, wasn't there? Doesn't Scully perform an autopsy on a elephant?
Yeah, because he gets like guy gets beat. Or Mulder gets hit by the gorilla, doesn't he?
Ooh, I can't remember.
It's been so long. I remember so very briefly when I was a kid. Say very briefly, it wasn't that brief. We ended up living in a caravan because we're in council housing and they were rebuilding them. And I remember that was one of my things was watching X-Files. I remember Jurassic Park coming out around then because it was really heavily raining on the skylight, and I just kept thinking I was going to see the T-Rex head come over. Um, and I remember watching Jaws and getting really shitted up by that bit where they're diving on the boat and the body comes out. But yeah, I was binging X-Files at that point. And weirdly enough, it was during that time my great grandmother died, and shortly after moving back into the house that I saw her ghost, or what I thought was her ghost. Exactly. And part of me thought, was I just kind of saturated by X-Files at the time? So
I've got 2 more. 9 stories to rule them all. And in the nighttime bind us.
It's a lack of sleep.
I'll be honest with this one, I've only read the headlines, so I don't know how good this is. But Google Maps sleuths think they found a massive door in Antarctica.
You mean the ice wall?
Yes.
Because it's the Earth's flat. Anyway,
carry on. Jon Snow. For centuries, Antarctica's unexplored barren landscapes have been a source for conspiracies, sometimes so far-fetched that even Jules Verne would raise an eyebrow. From a theory that Adolf Hitler survived after World War II in a base under the ice to another credited to flat earthers that Antarctica is a wall that surrounds the Earth. Both have been debunked, but in the age of the internet and social media, all is fair game. Google Maps sleuths now believe they have discovered a door in Antarctica. A screenshot was posted on Reddit's conspiracy channel, which boasts some 2.1 million members. It shows a glassy, rectangular-shaped mass, partly buried under the layers of snow. Users were quick to take a stab at what was supposed the door could be used for. Some suggest it was an underground entrance to a base camp, while others said it was a storage facility for seeds.
Yeah, because you've got the big seed stores up in Norway, haven't you?
They do have them, yeah.
In case there's doomsday sort of things.
Yeah, they do exist. Whether jokes or legitimate theories, it was unclear, as it never is on Reddit, but some said it is an entrance to Hitler's hidden bunker. He'd be fucking old now, wouldn't he? How old would Hitler be? Jesus.
120 something, 130 something.
According to the coordinates, it is just a few hundred meters from Japan's Showa Station, a permanent research based on East Ongle Island in Queen Maud Land. For what it's worth, the image has racked up more than 100 comments in the last 10 hours since it was posted. This is not the first time Antarctica conspiracies have emerged. Eagle-eyed Google users claim they found a massive pyramid sticking out of snow used by aliens. In 2019, the conspiracy theory community went wild after NASA images revealed a strange cloud pattern that they claimed was caused by new sonic weapons NASA was testing. The flat Earth community, who believe Earth is flat as a pancake, often use Antarctica as proof for their ludicrous claims. That's not us saying that. I'm reading an article. Don't come at us, flat earthers.
That's me saying that. Come fight us.
And this article was written by
members all around the globe.
Stevens, I think, wrote this article. Yeah. Apparently, Andy writes for the Metro now.
They have authors, or they have authors. They have members all around the globe.
Yeah, I'm not convinced by that one. It was a good headline.
I don't think it's so. Hitler would be 135 on the 20th of April.
Yep. Happy birthday, Hitler.
Got an idea?
Happy birthday, Hitler. Oh, you're not going to.
Yep. April the 20th, Florida man accused of stealing samurai sword and the truck is arrested after leaving cell phone at a crime scene.
Okay.
Or there's another one. Florida man accused of shooting duck with a bow and arrow.
Right, I've got one more. I think you've got two more.
Two more, yeah. Bookshop completely devastated by fire, apart from the Bibles. What? Residents of a small Guatemalan town have claimed a case of divine intervention after a fire devastated a bookstore, consuming everything inside except for the Bibles. The blaze broke out in the store named La Militia in the early hours of the morning. Firefighters were dispatched to the scene and managed to stop the flames from spreading to nearby buildings. But after the fire had been put out, with nearly all of the books destroyed, a firefighter from the force told local media, "Everything is consumed, but let me tell you something." I was with a volunteer colleague, and he says to me, "The word of God is incredible because the Bibles are intact." He added, "Seriously, the Bibles are intact. It's something we really can't put into words." There's some light damage on them, but they are pretty much intact. One local commented saying, "The word of God always prevails and protected the firefighters. May God prosper and allow the owners of the bookstore to recover from their losses." Another alleged miracle involving the Bible was revealed a year ago, as a soldier claimed a bullet-ridden Bible saved his life during World War I. Private Leslie Friston, who served with the Royal Army Medical Corps, was blinded and left with respiratory problems following a gas attack in 1917. But it could have been so much worse if it wasn't for the Bible he kept at his bedside. Yeah, so apparently the Bibles survived this fire. I mean, it could be divine intervention. It could be that the Bibles were on a separate rack to other books because they're different types of books, and the fire didn't reach them quite as much by the time the firefighters got there. Could be
my skeptical side would say if they were stacked densely together that maybe they wouldn't burn very well.
Yeah, that is also true. And again, you tend to keep Bibles in a different. You're not going to put it. Maybe you should put it with fiction. Who knows? But you're not going to put it with travel magazines. You're not going to put it with. So it might have just been a part of the store that was untouched by the fire.
It's difficult to say without the bigger picture, isn't it?
People often try and do that. I think it was that horrible earthquake and tsunami in 2006. I think it was that killed hundreds of thousands of people. I think in Asia, and there was a town. I don't know if it was Thailand or somewhere close to there, where the entire village was leveled except for the church, and everyone was like, "Look, this is divine, evidence of the divine." And it's like, yeah. Or it could be that every house was basically a shack and the church was made of stone. But who knows?
So what you're saying is these Bibles were made of stone?
Yes, that's it. Maybe they'd been looked at by Baylor the Evil Eye.
All right, so my last one for today is a bit lighter, actually. I'm hoping that you're going to end on a light note, because this is quite a light one. A wild wallaby sighting in Devon stuns locals.
Excellent. I've heard of these.
Yeah, and it is. I'm again well aware of these aren't cryptids because we know they exist. People have photographed them. They're in Gloucestershire as well. There are wild wallabies living in the UK, so they're almost a
I think in the Isle of
cryptid.
Man as well.
I don't know about them. Yeah, so it says locals were shocked when a wild wallaby was spotted in Devon, thousands of miles from Australia. John Cook was left baffled after spotting the little marsupial picking around a hedge on the side of a road near the village of Hemyock. Stunned John, 56, was travelling along the lane for work when he spotted the little marsupial. He was so shocked by what he witnessed that he decided to stop, get out his van, and get a closer look. Sounds terribly British, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I had to do a double take as I couldn't believe what I was seeing, John, a service driver said. It stayed visible for the whole time I was there, approximately 5 minutes. The animals are used to the Australian sunshine, but the creatures seemed quite happy in the far more frigid Devon climate. John, who lives in Exeter, added, "It looks healthy and was eating leaves when I first saw it."
As opposed to?
It looked straight at me. Imagine if it was eating like a corpse. Like, fucking, yeah.
Have you seen
zombie wallabies?
That video? So there's a park in America where you can volunteer to leave your corpse there, and it's just like a sky burial essentially.
Okay.
And your corpse just deteriorates; it just rots into the ground.
And gets eaten by a cat.
Well, funny you should say that. So they have cameras set up.
Hang on. So remember, I said we were going to end on a light note.
No. It's more interesting than bad. Anyway, I've still got a story to go. It might be really light or really dark. Okay. They've got these bodies, these sky burials are just there to like decompose, and also they have cameras set up so they can study decomposition of human remains. It helps them when they're identifying bodies and things like that. Yeah. So anyway, they've got this wildlife camera there, essentially watching this body, and it's just bones now. It's just bones and tattered clothing. This deer comes along and starts eating the ribs. A deer. It was pretty freaky. But apparently animals do it when they'll eat bones, even herbivores, if they need extra calcium. And like the nutrients in marrow, I guess. But like, yeah, just this deer coming along and eating this human rib.
It's an interesting topic maybe for another day, but I didn't know I could do a sky burial. That would be yeah.
Now who's leaving on a dark note, planning your own burial?
I think we should, because let's face it, the funeral industry is pumping our bodies full of chemicals so that we are preserved, so that we can go into the ground and not break down. We're polluting the environment. Burning isn't really that efficient. I think they actually crush the bones at the end, don't they? They like grind them.
Oh yeah, well there was that scandal recently where someone like got ashes that were not like her parent. It was like just random ash from something else.
Oh yeah, there's been a few of those going on. Someone thought they buried their nan, and
so maybe a sky burial.
So sky burial, you know what you get?
One where you become
a deer chews on your ribs.
There's one where you become a tree.
Yeah. I mean, there's others where like they do like natural burials in the ground, so you like decompose quickly. It's the way they bury you.
Yeah.
You decompose in like 2 years or something, I think. Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I should do what Kathy's doing. Yeah, you've met Kathy.
Yeah.
So a friend of mine, Kathy, she's getting frozen.
When? Soon?
When she dies.
You made it sound like, so next week.
So
She's
basically,
booked it in.
it's a life insurance style thing. You pay like as you would for life insurance. When you die, or you're about to die, ideally, a team will come over, and then when you pass, they'll quickly freeze you essentially. And it's not like complete freezing because, like, I know I've heard horror stories of bodies cracking essentially, but then they take you to this facility over in the States and they keep you there. And the idea is that eventually we'll have the technology to restart someone, which
Well done.
I genuinely think will happen eventually, but it's whether it happens before that company runs out of money and just thaws everyone out and gets rid of them.
Yeah. Is it worth it for the environmental cost too?
I don't know. It depends if you want to live forever.
No, I'm good. I'm quite tired now.
I don't know. I think I'd quite like to. I mean, this is one for another day. I think it's a decent discussion to have for another day. But the pluses and minuses of immortality.
Yeah. I think there is someone I once heard on another podcast years ago in Bristol, which would be close enough to Wessex. It was like an expert on death and like burial and stuff. Maybe we should do that.
I think so. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Fuck it. We're gonna do a death episode.
Yeah. Patreon exclusive.
Crowdfunding
Yeah.
for Craig's Sky burial.
Go on then, last story, and then I'll go to bed.
All right. I don't know if this is lighter, but it's interesting. Baby born with a 4-inch tail growing from its back.
Didn't that happen in the X-Files?
Yes. A baby has been born with a 4-inch tail growing from its buttocks in an extremely rare case in China. Pediatrician Dr. Lee uploaded footage of the appendage online following the child's birth at Hangzhou Children's Hospital. According to Dr. Lee, the unusual growth is like the result of incomplete degeneration, and he suspects the child has a tethered spinal cord. Spinal cord magnetic resonance imaging, MRI, later confirmed suspicions. A tethered spinal cord is a condition where the spinal cord is abnormally attached to surrounding tissues, typically the base of the spine. Normally, the spinal cord floats freely within the spinal canal, allowing for normal movement and function. However, in cases of tethered spinal cord, the movement is restricted, which can lead to various neurological problems. Remarkably, the case is not the first time a baby has been born with a tail in China. In 2014, 5-month-old Now was born with spinal bifida, a development congenital disorder which leaves a gap in the spine. Within days of his birth, the distraught mother noticed a tail beginning to grow, which balloons 5 inches in length. Fearing for the future for her son, Now's mother urged surgeons to find a way to remove it, but they refused to operate, saying there's nothing they can do for the child, that the tail is connected to his nervous system, and removing it will leave permanent damage. So I'm guessing this kid's just going to have a tail now.
I don't see why they can't just cut it.
Because it's all connected to the nervous system. You cut it, you're fucking the nervous system up. So much.
Also, you'd want to like, not being funny, but I'd be like lean into that. I'd be like,
oh yeah, own it, you know.
Yeah, well, I'm in a bar. I'd be like, "Want to see my tail?"
That usually gets you restraining orders.
Yeah, but you can prove it and go, no, but really.
Just before you ask, they want to see the white-eared elephant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you'd have to lean into it, really, wouldn't you?
What else would you do?
Yeah, what if it helps with balance? You know,
If it's like prehensile,
that would be so cool. I mean, if you could move it, that would make it all worth it.
I mean, the school years will be difficult. You're going to get bullied the fuck.
Depends how big it is. If you could hide it.
Yeah, but you do like PE and stuff, you get changed. Someone's going to notice. Also, it's in the news.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing, isn't it? Yeah, just everyone knows.
Yeah.
But I guess that's it from us then.
So yeah, thank you for subscribing to our Patreon. We'll keep these going as long as we can find the weird news stories. So if you've got stuff you want us to cover, then like send us the links. Come on, help with the podcast.
We'll be doing other stuff as well. Like I might do some storytellings, live storytellings, or storytelling exclusives. First looks at episodes that we haven't released yet, things like that. Maybe some other events. We're thinking of doing some in-person events eventually. That we've got a few ideas for that. So,
and you can sign up to Discord if you're not on Discord. Join the chat.
Yeah, that's it. And again, great place to meet other weirdos and give us some stories. Maybe we can get them on the podcast.
Join the cult.
Join the cult. We have punch.
Right. Bye.
And me.